Hi guys, I'm Henry. Welcome to a new video here on my channel. And yes, I made a character that sounds like me and moves strangely. I wanted to try it out because a lot of YouTubers do it that way too. Yes, today I would like to show you my Shadow Freddy cosplay in detail and explain why it is actually very crappy. As you may have already seen in my con video, I was at the Comic Con with Shadow Freddy. And yes, it was really super cool that so many people came straight to you and asked for photos. But of course the day was also pretty tiring and Freddy didn't feel like it anymore. More on that in a moment. Anyway, I now want to make more videos in this style because I think it's a good way to get a little closer to my viewers. Now you also know my voice, and I hope my English isn't too bad. I'll try to do my best. Speaking of you, I would be very grateful if you would subscribe to my channel. It's completely free, and for you it's just a click on the subscribe button, but it would help me a lot because I'm aiming for 2,000 subscribers this year. Thank you! By the way, only 1.1% of my viewers are actually subscribed, so just make sure to destroy the subscribe button and activate the bell so you don't miss anything. So, now for my cosplay. We'll work our way from top to bottom and I'll show you what can be improved and what was completely stupid to build. Let's start with the head. Many people are probably wondering why I made my Shadow Freddy head so big, and there is a very simple answer. I always try to make my cosplays in the original size of the character. Please don't ask yourself why I do it this way, I don't know myself. The head is actually quite light because it's hollow inside, so it only weighs 2 or 3 kilograms. However, what often breaks are the teeth. I 3D printed them and glued them on with hot glue. Sometimes they rub together and then fall off. What is also a disadvantage are the glowing eyes. So it turns out I'm not good at soldering cables and they start coming off all the time. That's why they don't light up. But that's not even the worst thing. What really messed me up is the lower jaw. I attached it at the back with homemade hinges, but they came loose during the con and the jaw was then only really tight on one side. I had to be very careful that it didn't just fall off. I definitely have to improve it. The last negative aspect of the head is the hat. It's pretty stable, but because it's so high up, I always have to duck a lot to get through doors. Now let's move on to the body. It's actually pretty comfortable, but the armholes are pretty small and I always have to do yoga to get into the suit. That's pretty much the only problem. Now let's move on to the arm parts. They are actually the worst part of my cosplay. Firstly, they are quite heavy, one arm part weighs almost as much as the head, and secondly, they don't have a good shape. That's why I always have to hold my arms in a T-pose. Because the arms are shaped like that, the blood is drawn into my arms, and that's why at the end of the con I could barely even hold my smartphone with one hand. So they are quite a problem. That's why I only walked around with one arm part most of the time, because my arm simply couldn't support the weight of the arm parts. Now the hands. The fingers are supposed to move, but it turns out Henry just can't build hands, so his own hands don't have room to move the fingers. Well done! Now let's move on to the legs. And as you've probably already seen, I don't have any. Although that's not entirely true. You see, about a day before the con, they didn't even exist. That's why I spent that day building the legs, but in the end I still wasn't finished. I'm so good at managing time. That's why the legs are there, but they're not finished. Until this very day. By the way, this is what they look right now. And there are no feet. Overall you can say, my Shadow Freddy cosplay is pretty crappy to wear. But I like the design quite a bit. As my first professional cosplay, I'm very satisfied. That's why I think it's probably more effective simply as a decoration in the room than a cosplay. And that's pretty much it. As I said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any more videos. Take care and see you then!